Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a film in which Michael Cera beats up half a dozen men and one lesbian ninja to earn the right to fuck manic pixie dream girl Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Of these men, perhaps the most powerful is Todd Ingram, a man granted vast psionic powers by his strict commitment to a vegan diet. A vegan diet the actor playing Ingram had to abandon almost immediately when DC Comics told him he had to eat an entire chicken per day.
Oh.
So Nisha, do you want to explain the character of Todd Ingram for the people who maybe aren't familiar with Scott Pilgrim?
He's the one who's in the band, isn't he?
He's the bass player.
Yeah, he's a bass player. All I remember is he's the bass player. He has white hair. Very jealous of Scott Pilgrim's relationship with Brie Larson's character.
Yes.
Character? I forget everyone's name. Envy Adams.
Envy Adams, yeah. Just called Brie Larson.
Brie Larson's character.
Like, do you know they released like the version of the song she sung? Like the Clash at Demon
Have
Head,
they
like they
actually?
released like her version. It's just better.
Oh,
So she actually sung the lyrics herself, it's great.
That's really cool. But yeah, all I know is he's this beefy bassist.
The beefiest of bassists. And he has magical powers because he's a vegan. Like, he has magic powers because in the Scott Pilgrim universe, being vegan gives you superpowers. Before we discuss why Brandon Routh had to force feed himself an entire chicken per day, do you have any other favourite Scott Pilgrim moments or characters? Because I always single out Chris Evans.
I was going to say, the entire scene of Lucas Lee.
Lucas Lee.
Hi. Big fan.
Why wouldn't you be?
That's the eyebrows. The eyebrows of a god. What's he doing?
Oh, and all them like clones of him as well.
Just his stuntmen.
Yeah.
He's such a good superpower. His superpower is he just like effectively clones himself.
What can I say? I'm nothing without my stunt team.
That bit though, where he goes, oh, you didn't know? You didn't get our email? Oh, sorry about that, bud. Get up, get up, go. Boom! It's like, damn, you're a good actor.
Oh, well, hey, listen, man, don't worry about it.
Really?
Yeah, let's go get a beer.
It's great.
Boom!
And he's saying, because he's supposed to be a shit actor, we now know Chris Evans is a good actor, so he's like super meta in a way. That film is like retroactively meta as fuck because it contains so many superhero actors. Like Chris Evans, Captain America. We talked before like Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. You've got two captains.
Two captains.
You're like Thomas Jane, the Punisher, who plays a member of the vegan police, which we'll get to in a moment. And a fun fact about Thomas Jane, he doesn't wear shoes when he's acting. Also, he took his costume home. He refused to give it back, and he just sent Edgar Wright a text saying, if you cut me from the movie, I'm going to put this on eBay.
That's great.
Well, yeah, Thomas Jane plays the Punisher, and oddly enough, when Todd Ingram is on stage playing, he's wearing a Punisher t-shirt. We'll bring it back to the film. Like, the story is that the eponymous Scott Pilgrim has to beat up his dream girl's 7 evil exes. And I like that she keeps clarifying exes when he says ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
It takes him, what, like a good 3 or 4 times that happening for him to realise, oh.
Doesn't he realise when he sees her, when he meets like her ex girlfriend, he's like, oh, okay.
Can we just
makes
say,
sense.
Well, one of the best lines in any film is like, I'm not bi-curious, I'm bi-furious.
Yes, oh my god.
It's so good.
I was just a little bi-curious. Well, honey, I'm a little bi-furious.
There's so many amazing lines in that film. Like, when Todd comes in and he slaps the highlights out of someone's hair.
Oh god, yeah.
He slaps the highlights out of Knives' hair.
Nice! You punched the highlights out of her hair.
So anyway, in the film, Scott has to best Todd in a test of skill, specifically a bass battle, which he somehow loses despite the fact he plays the main riff from Final Fantasy II. Because that's the detail people may have missed, where at the start of the film you see Scott saying, oh look, I learned the riff from Final Fantasy II, and that's the riff he plays when he's playing against Todd. Scott Pilgrim gets his ass handed to him in that bass battle and then has to try to physically best Todd Ingram, which is very difficult because he has superpowers by being vegan.
Doesn't he get blasted through a wall?
Yes. Really, really hard as well. And then he has that like really bad line about like the cleaning lady and the dust. That Scott's like, what? And he tries to explain it and it's like, I thought it made a lot of sense. Anyway, I'm going to kick your ass. All you really need to know though is that Todd, the character, has vast psionic abilities granted to him by his vegan diet, which are never explained. And Scott is able to win the battle by tricking Todd into drinking half and half.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
And you have the great scene where the vegan police turn up, which includes Thomas Jane, who wasn't wearing shoes in that scene for some reason, where they say, no vegan diet, no vegan powers. And he has the argument saying, no, but, you know, it's my first offence. Like, we had gelato the other week. Gelato's not vegan. Milk and eggs, bitch. Chicken parmesan. Chicken's not vegan.
On April 4th, 7:30 p.m., you partook a plate of chicken parmesan.
Chicken isn't vegan?
Chickens.
But that's just so apt though, because behind the scenes, Brandon Routh was eating a shit ton of chicken.
So why was he eating so much chicken?
Because when they were making Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Brandon Routh was still technically on retainer to play Superman if DC wanted to make a sequel to Superman Returns, which they never did, because that film didn't do very well. But Brandon Routh still had to maintain the Superman physique, a literal superhuman physique, during the entirety of the filming process.
Yeah, and that obviously includes a lot of chicken. It's like with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Thor, it's just so much chicken,
Just
so
like-
much protein.
Like any of those like superhero movies you've seen, like the actor behind the scenes is eating an ungodly amount of protein. And there's a story told by Edgar Wright where they were setting up for a scene, and Brandon Routh asked him, so how long do we have for the next scene? Edgar Wright's about 20 minutes. Oh, great, because I need to go eat an entire chicken. And he walked off set and ate an entire chicken. Because he had to.
Yeah.
He had to maintain.
I imagine like the actors who have to eat so much chicken at the end of, you know, when the filming's done, they just don't touch chicken
They fucking
ever
hate it.
again until they have to do it again. Like when they do like another film, they just avoid it at all costs because I'm sick of chicken.
Well, we discussed that briefly. We mentioned the stunt actors who have to physically stand in for these giant superhero men. Like, one of the guys like, yeah, eating's a chore. I have to eat like 10 times a day. I fucking ate it. Just 10 times a day I have to eat an entire chicken breast and a box of rice. It's like, what the hell? Eating's a chore. Eating is no longer something I do for fun. It is something I do as part of my job. And that's what Brandon Routh had to do. And it's just very amusing that his character very specifically gets his physique from being vegan. And every single time they yelled cut, Brandon Routh just running off stage to just shove his mouth full of chicken. Like, there's quotes from like Michael Cera and stuff like, yeah, we go out for a meal when we're shooting and you just order 3 steaks. And we're like, this guy must love his protein. He's like, no, I have to be Superman. Like, this thing, he never even got cast in a second movie. And he still had to do it. And that's actually something that gave me a newfound respect for Tobey Maguire, because I was rewatching the Raimi trilogy because I wanted to see Willem Dafoe lose his shit. And they do the thing that's quite tropey, and it's pretty much standard in superhero movies now, where the actor takes their shirt off and you see they're ripped as balls.
Yeah.
But in Spider-Man, they do the before and after, where they show him like a skinny teenage Peter Parker body and then ripped as all balls Spider-Man body.
Yeah.
But this is before CGI.
Are you alright?
I'm fine.
And I looked it up, and that was the very first scene they filmed when Tobey Maguire had to go out and gain all that muscle mass before they could continue filming anything else.
Jesus. It is a lot of work being a superhero.
Normally in a superhero movie now, they just have either CGI like they did with Captain America, or they just have the actor take the shot and they show they're already buff.
Yeah.
And for Spider-Man, they had to do both, and they didn't have the benefits of CGI, because the CGI Spider-Man does not hold up.
No, I actually watched that recently, the first one, and I was just like, ooh, this is quite bad. Especially when you see, you can tell when it's Tobey Maguire acting and when it's like a CGI Spider-Man, you can tell so bad, like, oof.
No. You can also tell as well that near enough every line he speaks as Spider-Man is not spoken when he's in the costume. It's like AD adding afterwards because his lips in the costume don't move.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
I do.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And you can tell us anything about Willem Dafoe as well, where there's some scene you can clearly see his lips out moving as he's delivering lines.
Impressive!
It was 2002. Different era.
But just that thing about Scott Pilgrim though, a super-powered vegan eating a chicken every day. You can't write something like that.